Hey guys, today I've got my out-of-box review for the HG Build Fighters Hyper Gyanko, and I gotta say, I think Bandai is maybe just ever so slightly, ever so gradually improving with these kits. That's not to say that they're still anywhere near Kotobukiya in terms of just the look of the kits and the options. Kotobukiya is still pretty much crushing them in that, but they're getting a little bit better. I mean, that could be a little bit biased just because I like Gyanko more than the previous characters, China and Fumina, but yeah, I think this is a pretty alright kit. I also just kind of like the styling of this one. Alright, well, let's try that again. This kit actually does stand on its own, but just my table is actually not perfectly flat. It's a little bit crooked, so when stuff's turning around, if it's, they can tend to fall over sometimes. So this kit, yeah, it can stand on its own, but obviously it is a little bit top heavy, and with like the big mechanical arms and shields there connected to the backpack, it's a little bit back heavy as well. So this one, like the China guy, it has the better ankles, in that the ankles do actually work pretty well compared to the original Fumina. I was going to say Fuma guy. The original Fumina that couldn't really stand too well on its own pretty much at all. That kit was really back heavy and top heavy, and just the ankles just didn't really work very well. You couldn't really do much with them, but with this one you actually can, and they do work pretty well. So overall, it's a pretty enjoyable kit. There are a couple things that are a little bit annoying, a few parts that fall off just constantly, really easily. You just are going to have to probably use some glue on a couple of parts for this kit. But overall, I think it's not bad. If you're a fan of Gyanko as a character, I think you can probably enjoy this pretty well. Alright, let's just pop this off the stand. And as always, guys, just a big thank you to USA Gundam Store for sending me this kit to share with you guys, because if you want to check anything out on their site, pick up this kit or whatever else, you can use that ZakuAurelius 10 coupon code. Save yourself 10%. Now, here's one of the problem areas. This skirt armor here just falls off really easily. This part here on the top of the head just falls off really easily as well, like that. So those are the parts I would definitely glue. Everything else is pretty solid. So, I mean, maybe you like it better without those parts. I mean, I don't know. But I'm just thankful that this frilly white parts on here is not that soft rubber. It's all just hard plastic, so really happy about that. Unlike the Fumina and the China guy that had that soft rubber that I just really don't like. So for the eyes, you have a few different stickers for that. As with the other kits, the eyes are actually molded. Like the detail is actually molded into plastic, so if you want to paint that, you can. We also have a second set of eyes where these are more set farther into the head, and then you have these clear pieces to set over the top of them if you want to make those look a little bit more kind of like glossy, realistic eyes, I suppose. I still haven't actually ever tried those on a kit, so I don't know how well those do actually look in use. But for the hair pins here, I don't know exactly what you'd call those, but they're on the top of the head. Those are just in red, and you have some yellow stickers that go around there. It's just one yellow sticker on each one that goes around there for that. The hair does move, of course, here, just kind of rotates around. It's also kind of loose in there. I feel like it's not going to fall out, but in terms of like turning, it's really loose. But overall, I don't think the face looks too bad. It's not too scary or anything. It looks pretty alright. So the head will go up to there, and down very far to there. Here in the stomach section, we will have a little bit of crunch forward and back, not a whole lot side to side, not really a whole lot. It's basically just kind of loosening there in the polycap in the center. In the arms, it's just like with the other kits as well. You can kind of bring that out a little bit, but it doesn't really want to come out too much, so you can only really bring it out to maybe there, and then kind of rotate that up, and yeah, moving that up, it's not going to want to go very high before it's kind of coming out of the polycap. So I think if you want to have the arms up, it's better off just you have to like rotate it like that. So shoulder articulation is not very good, it seems like, unfortunately, in this case. This shoulder armor here on the side is just on a ball joint, so it can kind of move a little bit, but it's pretty much just kind of there. The elbow joint will give you more than 90 degrees, so a pretty nice elbow joint there that sort of makes up for the lack of articulation in the shoulder. And then the wrist, of course, is just on a ball joint. Down here at the hips, the legs can move forward and back. If you move them out to about there, like that. Sorry, shield's in the way. There you go. Yeah, and so these legs also seem quite limited in terms of like forward. You can really only get it forward to about there, which is not very much, and back like pretty much nothing, because it's just kind of got a lot of, it's kind of thick around that section there, I guess you could say. So it's going to be kind of like the shoulder. At the shoulder, not very good. Elbows, fine. Hips, not very good. Knee, fine. Knee has a pretty nice bend there. It's really just a little bit more than 90 degrees. Here in the middle of the leg is where it can actually rotate there. It's kind of weird, but anyway. And then here, this ankle armor can move a little bit on its own. You are going to have seam lines there. I mean, there's going to be seam lines in quite a few different areas on this kit, on the thigh, on the stomach, on the forearm, on the lower leg here, and then on this ankle armor, there's a seam there down the middle. You have that blue piece that sits inside of there, but then the light blue, like for the main armor parts, has a seam like down through that, and then on the back there as well. Maybe you can see that a little bit better. And the feet are nice, and nice detail underneath the feet there. And I just like the shape of the feet. Obviously, they're styled after the Gyan. The ankles will move down and then up to there. So pretty nice articulation there, forward and back in the ankles, side to side. Not really all that much, so you're not going to really be able to get like a really wide stance out of this. But then again, the hips don't really want to move that wide anyway. Going back around here to the backpack, you have the hole where the base plugs up into there, up into the backpack. And then you have these articulated arms and these shields from the valuable pod. So those are not looking as nice as the shields that came with the Revive Gyan, unfortunately, but they are passable, I suppose. So these arms, as you would imagine, will just kind of move all over the place, and they hold the shields just fine. The shields are not very heavy. So as you can see, you can have that fully extended, and I don't think that's going to be falling down. Maybe over a long amount of time, but for now it's fine. Also just want to take a second to point out some of the extra parts you have with this kit, and you do actually have another section of the mechanical arms, another longer section of the mechanical arms, and a whole bunch of little joints for that. So you could actually make that mechanical arm longer, or you can use these extra parts for something else, but you have a lot of leftover little parts from the mechanical arms. You have some other like random leftover parts here, like some lower legs there, which you can maybe find something interesting to do with those. Some forearms and open hands. These are going to be the same ones from the China guy, but you could, again, probably find something interesting to do with those, some sort of interesting kit bash. And in terms of accessories for this kit, aside from the closed hands you get on there, you do get a set of open hands for this kit. These ones are different from the previous ones in that they have a cover on the back of the hand. So there you can maybe see that a little bit better. So you could use either one. If you don't like the cover on the back of the hand, you could use just those smaller ones, so it's kind of up to you. And then you have the two swords, which are a little bit disappointing to say the least, in that they don't have clear effect parts. They're just toothpick swords, which could look okay. If you painted them, if you painted this in silver or something like that, that could maybe look okay if that's what you're into. But it really would have been nice if they would have just given us the weapons from the Revive Gyan, so the different shields and the beam sabers from that kit would have been a lot nicer. Unfortunately, you just have these and kind of nothing really to do except you're going to have to paint those or something. And then you have some parts for handles for the shields, so you can use these inside the shields to have her actually holding onto the shields instead of them onto the backpack like that. If you want to use these, one for the left and one for the right. But for real though, I gotta tell you guys, it is really annoying me. If you look at that skirt armor the wrong way, it's just gonna fall straight off. So definitely glue that skirt armor on there. It just doesn't want to stay on there at all. But yeah, anyway, I like that this kit includes a base. I'm always happy when Bandai includes a base in their kits because it always helps. In this case, though, it's fine if you're not very interested in doing any sort of dynamic posing. Now, unfortunately, the kit is not really, the articulation as you've just seen of the kit is not that great, so you're not going to be able to get too dynamic with your posing anyway. But basically, you can't change the angle of that action base at all. You can, but if you have it pointed forward at all, it's like too far forward, and then it's actually, aside from the angle just looking too far forward and it just looking weird, it's actually it can't stay like that because it'll fall forward. It's too heavy and the base can't hold it up. The whole thing will just fall forward and she'll fall on her face. If you have the action base back to its back position, then it's too far back and it looks weird and also doesn't balance. So I tried it. It doesn't really work. And so yeah, the base is fine, but you can't really do a whole lot with it. And that pretty much sums up the articulation of the kit as well. So I guess it kind of matches. Oh man, do I really want to give up on this review? And it just sucks, man. This review is really paining me, to be honest, because I really want to like this kit because I think it can be cool, and I think the kit is fine. It's just turning out to be a very hard kit for me to review because nothing wants to stay on the kit. The skirt armor keeps falling off, the head keeps falling off, and I found out whilst trying to put the shield into the hand for hand holding the shield here that the shield doesn't really want to stay connected onto the arm very well. And also, the back of the hand cover, just falls off if you just blow the slightest little baby breath on it, just a little whew, and the hand cover just falls off. So actually, I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can't really actually see it very well, but there, holding the shield, I actually don't have the cover on the back of the hand, and it's balancing there for now. But yeah, it's just proving to be a very annoying kit to try to review for you guys. But like I said, I don't think that the kit is necessarily bad. You just need to know about some of these issues. And like if I was just working on the kit just for myself, just building the kit, and I wanted to turn it into some sort of diorama or something, like it'd be fine. It's all just kind of like normal stuff that you have to fix, or not. Unfortunately, or I should say, fortunately, we don't normally have to fix this kind of stuff. Usually with Bandai Gunpla kits, there's usually not a whole lot of gluing or modifying required with this kit, but with their kits. But with this kit, it's gonna take some glue and a little bit of love to be able to do a whole lot with this kit if you're wanting any sort of pose other than just like the very standard basic pose. So at the moment, I have to admit that I have very mixed feelings about this kit, but that's basically just, again, because I'm reviewing the kit and it's just not an easy kit to work with for doing a review. I was like putting on the base here, and when I set the base down, I think I like pushed one thing together and like 5 pieces just fell off the kit all at once. It was kind of a really funny moment, actually. If I wasn't really frustrated at the time, I wish I would have got it on video. But yeah, I think ultimately though, if you like the look of this kit, then just get it and don't really worry too much about the actual like construction aspects of it. But just get it if you, I think there's just a little bit more skill involved with this kit. If you want to turn this into like something really cool, or like you really want to bring out the full potential of this kit, then I would say you probably definitely want to come with some skill in your repertoire to be able to fix some stuff, fix some joints, you know, do some modifications on things like that, and just really bring out the most of this kit. Otherwise, it's not an easy kit really to mess with. So I started off the review saying that I think Bandai is progressing in their kits. I will say that I still stand by that, in that I think that this kit is better in a lot of ways, but it's still suffering quite a bit. I mean, Bandai's still not really figuring out the best way to make these kits, it seems like. And I don't know, maybe that's not very surprising for you guys. I had really high hopes for this kit just because, again, I like the character and I thought the kit looked pretty cool. But I expected to have to do some work on it. Like, I'm expecting to have to do a lot of work on the kit. So it's not that I'm like kind of surprised. It's just that at this particular moment, I'm just frustrated. That's all. So anyway, so hopefully you guys still got all the information you needed about the kit in this review. I don't want to sound too bad because the kit is not horrible. Like I said, it's just frustrating me at the moment. But I would really only recommend this if you're a really big fan of Gyanko. And again, you have enough skill to really make this kit worthwhile. Otherwise, you're probably going to end up feeling a little bit frustrated or disappointed with the kits, as I am currently at the moment. So in this state as it is, it's a little bit of a disappointing kit, but I feel like you just kind of have to do extra work on it to really make it so that it can be something you can really love to work on, or love to have around. So that's it for this review, guys. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys if you're thinking about getting the kits. I'm looking forward to doing some work on this later. I'm still working on kind of a little tiny side project thing on the Gyanko Petite guy, the Gyanko Kara guy. So you guys should see that pretty soon in the near future once that's done. This one will be probably for a little bit more distant future anyway. But as always, guys, if you still have any other questions or comments, you can leave those down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Hey! Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you want to check the kit out for yourself, you can head over to USA Gundam Store. Use that coupon code ZakuAurelius10. Save yourself 10%. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.